The Dallas Cowboys, their defense is no longer horrendous.
Agreed.
Their defense is no longer porous. Dare I say,
What a difference.
it's actually growing into a bit of an asset.
I know.
What's the difference?
Well, I mean, it is the
Besides Parsons.
Clearly.
And obviously coordinator.
Clearly, it's the coordinator, Dan Quinn, who was. I mean, we forget how great Dan Quinn was.
Yeah.
Because it feels like. I mean,
Talk about when he was with Seattle.
I was going to say
with,
it feels like a decade ago, but it actually was a decade ago.
Absolutely.
When he was with the Seattle Seahawks and they had the Legion of Boom, and as much as the Legion of Boom was about. Like big corners. Remember, it was like the first time we saw 6-foot corners.
Who was the guy who was 6'4", opposite
Browning?
Sherman? Yes.
I think he ended up getting in trouble.
He didn't play as long as he should have.
Yeah, no.
6'4".
I mean, like off the field. I feel like he did something happen with him. Maybe not, but who knows? But they had big corners. They had big safeties. They were aggressive up front. They were flying all over the field. Remember how athletic that defense felt?
Mm-hmm.
And now it feels like the Cowboys with guys like Micah Parsons, as you were just mentioning, and even DeMarcus Lawrence, who is out now. But these guys are flying all over the field and playing like free, as opposed to what they had last year, which was Mike Nolan saying, this is your gap responsibility. You get into that gap and you play into that gap. And, I don't care what happens. If you see the ball going the other way, you still play in your gap type of thing.
Gap integrity.
Right. And it's, in 1985, maybe that had some merit, right? Because you don't want gash plays to happen. But in today's NFL, these guys are athletes, man. They're like super athletes. Even the tackles, even like the defensive tackles who are 285 pounds, they're athletes and they want to have fun. And what I think we're seeing now with this Cowboys defense, these guys are flying all over the field. Like Leighton Vander Esch was making every play, right? He was just flying around making every single play. Up front, Micah Parsons forced into an edge rushing position. Micah Parsons is a linebacker, but forced into an edge rushing position. He played every snap on the edge and was disruptive, right? He was actually getting home, which just tells you like this team is buying in to what Dan Quinn is preaching them. So for the first time, and it feels like a while, even if they're not fully as talented as some people on paper as some other teams, they're playing a free-flowing form of defense, and it's working for them.
And I don't care who you give the football to. Anybody could run behind Zach Martin.
Oh,
Zach Martin is great.
He is unbelievable.
God.
And we mentioned this with Zeke, and Zeke didn't have a bad day.
No.
He's actually okay. He
the numbers were pretty good.
71 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Tony Pollard went for 109 and a touchdown, and then he had 5 or 6 receptions for 30 or so yards as well. They are dynamic on both sides of the ball, and that's scary for Dallas or for NFC East fans, other than Cowboys fans, because the Cowboys could make some waves, especially if Dak keeps playing the way that Dak has been playing the first couple of weeks.
Well, that's where I was going to go. Keep in mind, I know that we are a society of immediacy at this point, so we no longer really process what transpired a week or two, let alone a day ago. So it's very easy to forget that he hadn't played football for 14 months.
That's right.
Just about. Maybe actually a little bit less than that. But maybe about got hurt October. Yeah, a little bit inside of a year. Obviously, competitive football. Didn't play a snap during the summer. We know about the shoulder. We know about everything else that transpired with his body, the contractual stuff. And here's a guy who. He might look the part because he is the part, but he's still scraping away a little bit of rust, even if nobody wants to really grant him that. So you factor in that. Michael Gallup was hurt. He's out a few more weeks, so their offense isn't even full. I am going to be a little reticent. I'm not trying to be the complete party pooper, but I'm not going to fully buy this Cowboys team because, number one, the referees had such a profound impact on this game yesterday.
Yeah.
It was criminal. And the Cowboys very easily, and you could probably make the case, very well should be 0-2. And even if they lost by a point, it was we wouldn't be on the air waxing poetic about the Cowboys and their tantalizing possibilities. We'd be sitting here saying Cowboys are 0-2.
Yeah.
So I know it's a win or loss league here, win or lose league, but it's It's trending in the right direction. They've got some things that are non-negotiable. If you want to win in the NFL, you got to have a playmaking quarterback. You got to have some components on the offensive line. You got to have a defensive disruptor like they do in Parsons. Certain things you got to have. And they've got a bevy of receivers. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be, relevant all season. But where do we stop with the level? How much enthusiasm is too much enthusiasm for this unit today?
Well, I think the reason that the enthusiasm is high, BT, is because I thought their defense was going to suck again. Even though they drafted Micah Parsons and they have good players on that side of the ball, and Van Der Esch, who we thought was going to be one of the top linebackers, and Diggs, who they drafted last year, was he this year? No, yeah, they drafted him last year.
Chin's year two.
Yep, out of
Diggs, pardon me.
Out of Alabama. Jalen Smith, he's there, but we saw these same guys just get gashed a season ago. So I think the optimism is this Cowboys defense. As the year goes on, they're only going to get better as long as they stay healthy. They're only going to get better, getting more comfortable in Dan Quinn's system, and so maybe the defense can win games. Which ultimately it came down to. They did have to win a game. They had to get a stop on Herbert, who is just sublime. I mean, he's just an unbelievable.
He's great
quarterback.
Couple of mistakes, but man, he's great. He's talented.
Young guy mistakes, but other than that, they did a really good job keeping this Chargers team to 2 touchdowns and a field goal, right? And so I think the excitement is because, man, if Dak plays like he did when he has to put up 38 points in certain games, and then this defense can hold one of the top offenses from a year ago, and they're probably better this year, to 17 points, right? It's lining up to be that way. So I think the optimism is simply because the defense is playing so good as opposed to what it looked like a year ago. And a year ago, we all remember it was garbage. It was horrendous.
Is there any other NFL fans out there that have a little stadium envy at this point? I mean, this is a little bit off the page, and I know we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, but they played in SoFi Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, so when they have these bump shots coming in from the networks, whether it's the Raiders in Las Vegas or the Chargers and the Rams out there in Inglewood, California with SoFi, and then you get the dump that's MetLife, I mean, which is relatively new, by the way. It's only about a little bit more than 10 years. I mean, does anybody else have stadium envy? Some of these new stadiums are insane.
Yeah, they are.
SoFi is crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean,
even Atlanta's, I like Mercedes. That's a good-looking venue.
Yeah, because that
with the round, it's got the round scoreboard. Mercedes is about 5 years old.
5 or 6 years
about
old.
5 years old.
Because I remember we had McKay.
But we were there.
We had McKay on, also the president of football operations. What's it? McKay? Yeah, I think it's
McKay's
McKay.
with the Falcons. Remember they sent us a $2 bill for their menu?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they sent us?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. McKay from the Falcons.
No, I know, but they sent us a $2 bill.
Yes,
They sent you and I both $2 because their menu inside the stadium was more family friendly. But there's some sweet stadiums in the NFL, and I don't know which one's better, SoFi or Allegiant. Allegiant looks more intimidating, black. It's just more, maybe not even vibrant. It just looks. It tends to pop more.
I got to see more games there.
But structurally, like the outer structure of SoFi, oh man, it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
God, it's gorgeous.
I think I like the Raiders Stadium more.
I like the Raiders vibe more. I agree.
It just feels intimidating.
It does. No, it does.
Whereas SoFi feels like a California stadium.
Well, that's why 35,000 Cowboy fans said I feel good enough to come in here.
That's exactly right.
And make myself at home.
So it's not necessarily a home stadium advantage for the Chargers.
You think it ever will be? It will be for the Rams. You think it ever will be for the Chargers?
I don't know.
But if Justin Herbert's as good as we know he is, and he's there for 10, 12, 15 years, I think you'd have to think that it will be.
If maybe in like 5 years, if he's still great and ascending, and man, Justin Herbert's going to be one of the greatest of this generation, the greatest of this generation, maybe they'll get a convert of fandom. But it just doesn't feel that way. No. People aren't buying tickets to come see the Chargers play. It sucks because they're good and they've been good for 2 years now with Justin Herbert at the helm. But I don't think I don't know. I don't see it happening.
No, it's an uphill battle. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I mean, can you bungle the timeout situation any more than Mike McCarthy did?
No. And
I did not know that.
You heard the excuse, right?
Yeah, I heard the scoreboard's not. The timer's not working.
The timer's not working.
What?
And to be honest with you, I can understand why that's a big deal.
Then what you do is you throw your hanky, you call timeout.
That's right.
And you say, fix the clock.
That's right.
And we're not playing till it's fixed.
That's right. And then he said Kellen Moore, his view for the other clock was obstructed.
I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
Exactly.
What I'm hearing.
It sounded like a lot of excuses for why you didn't know what the hell was going on in the game. But at that moment, the clock matters so much, absolutely. Run out on the field and say, ref, the clock's not working. I don't know what the hell is going on.
And it shouldn't be incumbent upon the coach, by the way, to have to do that.
No.
That happens in the NBA. The refs, 24-second shot clock on the other side.
Yep.
It's off. Timeout. Let's fix this. Let's rectify this.
Yep.
The NFL, you're a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Get your damn clocks fixed.
You're right. And if you mess it up, sorry, it's not our fault. You should have known. Maybe you should have a guy on the sideline, keeping track. But it was funny because as it was rolling down, and you're watching, you're just like, dude, are you going to call a timeout?
That's what I was saying out loud.
And then in some respects, you're kind of like, well, maybe he just has this much confidence in his field goal kicker.
You mean the same guy who doinked one the PAT and the hook job on the opener? Or in the opener?
Missed an extra point and missed 2 field goals in the opener against the Buccaneers.
I mean, that's some unwavering
in my mind,
support.
I'm like, he just really feels good about his kicker. And I'm like, wait a second, he shouldn't feel good about Greg Zuerlein.
I'm thinking, does he not trust Dak? Which I don't even want my mind to go there because he should have unwavering faith in Dak Prescott. Zuerlein's actually good.
Yeah.
He had a rough opener against Tampa, but he's good. He's got a hell of a leg. That was just confounding, and I'm not buying the excuse. And you know what? Even if he's right, I'm not trying to pile out a coach that won a tough game in a tough venue against a good team. I'm trying to remain fair. But if that happened, then step up and let everybody know what the heck is going on. You're the coach.
Aren't there 4 clocks in every stadium? Both end zones.
I don't know about that. You mean? I know the play. You're talking about the play clock.
The play clock.
Well, absolutely. Well, for each quarterback, for sure.
Yeah, so
there's one behind each goalpost.
Right.
That's 2.
And I feel like they're on the clock on the sides too. Maybe,
that I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that depends.
They don't have that at MetLife. I feel like, or they didn't.
I think it depends on the stadium. Be honest with you.
SoFi probably has everything, every gadget.
I mean, you would think it does.
Yeah, that was weird. But
he
dodged a bullet because if they would have lost that game, he
got away with it.
Right. He did. But Dallas. Listen, this is not breaking news. We thought that Dallas would be pretty good this year. They just might be a little bit better than we thought they would be.
I love Michael Parsons, too.
He's awesome, man. He's a good pick out of Penn State, boy.
He's just fun.
He's a game wrecker. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.